GMetalP Army. In this video I want to show you my very own and my bulletproof best bid-ask strategy. I call it the layer cake strategy. And let me show you how it works, just like you bake a cake, so like a recipe. Okay, let's jump into it and see how it works. Recently I have made a tweet where I highlighted my Zcash position, which I opened from the top, and where you see that I have created two positions. And I also afterwards made a position and overall the chart analysis. It is an educational post. I just wanted to highlight how I actually do it in just one day. So most of the time for the bigger tokens I let it go for many days, but in this case I wanted to highlight it in a post. And let me jump to the chart. And the first thing that we need for the recipe to bake the layer cake strategy is analyze the chart. And the chart needs to be an uptrend, and very nice looking uptrend like we see here with a really high last pump. This is pretty much very good entry here, and I show you in a second how you can a little bit try to figure out where is the actual top. And what I made here is to create two bid-ask positions. So bid-ask is actually when we here, so let me draw a bid-ask position, which is actually then DCA, which just means when you put your one-sided liquidity. So what I did is I created from the top, and is its only sol position. So I only put sol into this position. And when I create the bid-ask position, we know that it will dump really fast. Most of the time from the top, we will see that the token will dump really hard. And what we try to catch is actually the bounce from a good level of support, which we can find a little bit here. So it's not the best support, but it's kind of a support zone because we have also a trend line here. We try to limit order, you can call it like this, our position. So very less of the sol will be converted into the Zcash position in this area from the top to here. And as lower it gets, the more sol that I put in the position will be converted into Zcash, and we will generate as much fees as it go to the lower side, to the downside. So at the lowest position we are fully converted into Zcash, but it also means we generate most of the fees, so we get the most of the share on our position. And the thing is, we try to figure out where the bounce could be. Why not just classical bid-ask? So why not create a big position like you see here, for example? So if you just create one big bid-ask, so it could work. But the thing is, when we are here at the level where we can potentially have let me disable a little bit of it so it do not distract us anymore. When we are at the level of when we can potentially see a great bounce, we will be at the middle of our big bid-ask position, you can call it like this. And in this case, you will not generate as much fees as you would with this setup. And this setup is a little bit riskier if you just create one bid-ask position. So if you create one bid-ask position, you are at the risk, because if it goes further down, like if you just break this level and go further down, you will see a bigger impermanent loss. The second thing is then to create the second position, which is exactly like the first one. Is the bid ask, but you double down on your entry, on your sol entry. So for example, if you have one sol here in this position, you will put 2 sol in this position. And this will then prevent or save you a little bit if it's go further down and then bounce from this level. And when do we create this second position? Most of the time I try to create it in this area. So from 50 to 60% of the whole range, which you see here on the price range. When the price is around here, I then go and create a new position, double down, and I try, when we see here the 100 bin step position, what I do right now in this market is I create a much bigger position. So for example, 65 to 74%. So I pretty much double the bin size, a little bit less. So we are exactly like 837. It's pretty okay. And this is what I do for every bid ask position here. So I double down on the size. We get a little bit less fees because we stretch our liquidity a little bit more, but you play safe here. And bid ask is all about to be safer on your position. Let me jump to another example. Here on this token, you want to try, and we have exactly like on the Zcash, we have a great upside trend. So you see here that we get exactly a bigger pump like on the Zcash, and what you can do, it's not always possible, but we can use the RSI indicator. So just put RSI and then you will find it. And when you do it on the 15 minutes on lower time frame, could be a little bit complicated, but try to go with higher time frame, for example 1 hour or a little bit higher. And when you go and see that the top is above the level of 17, and you see here we have like big green candle here, it could be the top from this point of view, and it's pretty much okay. We don't need to open a position exactly the top. It could go a little bit further down, so you play a little bit safe. And what you do then is you create a one-sided bid ask position here. And I have like 65% around this, so I stretch a little bit. And what we try to do is to catch the bounce. So when it goes here and it goes here, we try to exit our position here, and you could leave it, but you are at risk. And when to get the second position is when we hit this, let's say, support of the trend. Try, and this is the second thing which I want to highlight here, is that the middle of your first position needs to be around a good support level, like I explained before. So we have it here, so we could potentially have a support trend line here. This is the trend line, and we have here the horizontal support level, and this is actually the point where we could see the actual bounce, what we also did. But it doesn't work always like this. It could down very quickly without bigger bounces, or it goes like this and it hits the trend line from the bottom, and this means that it will go further down. And this is why we create the second position here, so to be a little bit safer. So the layer cake strategy is all about to get a little bit safer on your position. So this means that you create the position here, and it is around the 50% of the whole range. And then you create like minus 70% position to beat. And you close it, you close your first position here when you see the next bounce, because we broke the trend line. After this pump, we broke the trend line. That means it potentially will go further down until these levels here. And it means then that we can close our first position. The second position is working for us. So it's here it was here to prevent some losses on our first position. And now it's become the main position now. And what we do here is the layer cake, you can do it 3 layers, you can do 4 layers. So that means then when we see here the next big bounce, which is then means here you're testing this level. So we broke the support, we test it again, it means it will go further down. So that means we can, first of all, we create next position, which can then go like 73%, so around here. And this means we can exit the second position, and the third position will become our main position, which then can go and you create a new position. So when the price goes here and you see, because we have a support level here, you see a bounce, then you can create a new one, and this will then be our fourth position. For example, let me do this here, but you can do like 80%, so it depends on you. So when you are a beginner, try to be a little bit bigger on your ranges, just to have a bit of convenience. And this is how you play it. You try to exit on the bounces and just to prevent some losses. And for example, here, the same like here, this is the position that I had yesterday, for example. So I didn't catch the overall top. So because I saw the token when it bounced here, I thought, okay, we have a good structure here, could be a good entry. So I entered for here for minus 70%. And the thing is, here I try to create the layer cake in this level below, but it doesn't matter. And I exited the position here on this bounce. So the layer cake is here to be a little bit safe, but it also gives you the opportunity to get more fees, because you do not create like a regular one. And in this level, well, all the bounces and the time is you have more funds in these areas, so you get more fees out of it. And yeah, this is the actual concept. And I created also a document for you, so you can read it a little bit. So you can read it and understand how it works. And why I say bulletproof, I like strategies that can be 100% be automated. And I did it actually with Unify. I completely automated with just the instructions from this document, little bit tweaks, nothing that is top secret. And you see here, it performs on every market conditions. And overall, at the moment, you see here the total ROI. Here, the total funds is because the SOL value decreases, and this strategy works on the SOL only. But you see here on my wallet that controls the strategy, that is performing really pretty much great. So 76% win rate overall. And we had problems when it just started, where I had the RAG token, then I optimized it to get a little bit safer here. Then it works like a clock. And yeah, it generate good fees and good profits. And This is my overall go-to-market position that I can replicate 100% on every token and every market conditions. Yeah, this is it. Give it a try. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. And when we go into the LP coaching, this is one of the strategy I will teach you and give you a little bit more insights how you can play it, how you can better time your exit strategies and your entry strategies. See you in the next video. Hi there, here am I again. I'm just ready with the cut and I saw that I need to bring a little bit more clarity, and this is why we switch again to the ZPay example, and I just wanted to highlight the opening position and the exit positions. As I mentioned here, when I created this range, the main point of the second position on creating the second position is of course the around middle of the range, but it also could be have the logic on the chart, because when we break this level we are at the danger of impermanent loss. This is why this is the perfect point. It could be here, it's actually needs to be created here, that we need to create the second position, because this is a level when we go from here further down we are at risk of a bigger impermanent loss. This is why we create the second position here. When we created the second position, this bounce or this bounce, it's up to you on your risk level and how you monitor your position, is a possible signal to close the first position. If you don't do this, what I actually did, because it was middle of the night, you can sell your fees on these bounces, at least sell your fees on these bounces. It got further down, and because it was the middle of the night, the position worked, because we were at risk here of the bigger impermanent loss, and we hit this actually. So if I would have only one position, I would be at loss. And with the second position, because it generated here good fees, it balanced the impermanent loss and got me some profits. And because we broke this level and we did the retest, like I explained to you before, so we break this level and we go a bit further up, like here, and this is our resistance zone now. So that means it will go further down when we don't break, if we don't have a breakout here. That's why this is my exit for the first position. So I closed it here and got some profits. And now the second position could work. I already closed it, but maybe I will reopen it again. But it doesn't. It's not the point. That's why I wanted to make it a little bit clearer for you. So you open the second position at danger zones, and then of course you can time it as I explained it before, from the range perspective, 50 to 60%, and this prevents your loss. So you need to time your exits and your entries, and then you can prevent losses and generate some gains. And it's not like it will always be a big profit, but it will always try to save you. And when you hit the second pump, then you can generate more profits, and then you can generate even more profits on the second, third and fourth positions are here. You can play it, you can just do just two, you can mix it, it depends on the chart how further down it should go. Here on this chart, better to have just two, at least three. When you leave it here, you need, when it go further down, a third one. But on the bigger charts like the Zcash, you can do like 3, 4 and maybe more. So you just do like this. So you go further down and you just rebalance your positions to the downside. So that's it. See you in the next video.